Yeah, our fellow cadres are going to help us do that. Uh, Socialist, Revolution Socialist League, you're going to start introducing political education to our people. Watu waanze kukasirika. Asizo ndo alikuwa hapa. Asizo ndo alikuwa anaelewa Kiswahili. Nafaa niongee Kiswahili. Naongea Kizungu hapa na ng'ang'ana aje. Look at my imperialist yani. Ni noma. Lazima watu waanze kuelewa hii story. Watu wajue ukweli. Sasa tunaanza kufunza watu kwa at a social justice center level, whereby one thing napenda social justice center tuko kwa informal settlement. Na kitu kingine lazima watu waelewe class struggle. Mbona sisi tunakaa kwa poverty na tumenormalize your situation, na wala sisi tunaita government yetu it's like a man it's society yani. No one cares. So how do we bring the issue of class? You know, a socialist state, ile state yenye itakuwa ya na one class na tuna own means of production. Gashika kwa ukiwa daktari ukilipwa 50k, mimi nikiosha gari nalipwa 50k bado, because labor yangu pia ni input, si ndio? So vitu kama hizo ndo lazima tuanze kuambia community pia ianze kuona world in a different aspect. Yani tuanze kuona, tuanze pia tuangalie capitalist ni akina nani. Yani hao watu tuliambiwa Oxfam ilifanya research. Imagine watu ni 8,300. Na tuko 50 million. Hatuwezi overthrow hao watu aje sasa. So lazima tukue na Thomas Sankara School. Mali tuenda tujiorganize. Tukue na ideology kuwa smart, because immediately we start to overthrow the state, capitalists wamejistrategize, watakuwa smart. Sasa si ma socialist tutakuwa ma revolutionary, tutakuwa tuna strategy gani? Lazima pia sisi tukue na strategy yetu, because watakubali waache tu power iende tu hivyo. They must fight back. So are we ready for that fight? Because tuweza tena tujichoche tu, tuingie vita, tupigane, tuuane. Hawa capitalists wanaenda tu mahali, unajua base zao, waende wakunywe chai, wakuja watu attack, watuue, lakini tutakuwa tumewin the war. So lazima tujue enemy wetu hapa si Gashe kama mimi na wewe. Enemy wetu lazima tu identify enemy wetu ni nani. Enemy wetu hapa ni capitalist. Na huyu capitalist na huyu capitalist ni mtu. Ni watu tu wako mahali. Lazima tujua watu tutadili aje na wao. So that's why we having this Thomas Sankara. Yani mali lazima watu pia wako mali militant ile tu serious, na pia lazima kukuwa na revolutionary discipline. There's things that we normalize kidogo kidogo. Tukienda kwa socialist society ndio tutafanya tu tena. So people must start having revolutionary discipline.
This dream started last year around December, when the need to have a political school in Kenya was rising. And so when some of us went to Roma School and came back, we had the expertise, the technical knowledge to begin the process of establishing the school. So it started with one political class in Dandora that happens every Friday. So it spread to Madare, it spread to Mukuru, it is now moving to Kiambio, and it is also going to Kayole. Makadara also requesting to have a political class session. So with time we're going to have political class sessions going on in all the 16 social justice centers in Nairobi. But also we are very ambitious that we want to spread the wings to the social justice centers in Kisumu and in Mombasa. And if you're lucky, we also to spread it to the social justice centers in Uganda. So the last I think last week, yeah. Last week we had our first political session, which is a block of 7 days, whereby we had we have our own curriculum as Thomas Sankara Political School. So we had the first set of cadres going through these sessions, and how we do it, or the methodology, how the school is structured, is that we are first going back to our history. And I was so happy to see Comrade Shiraz talking to us about our history. And I think after this, maybe we can have a discussion on how we can tap into the rich reservoir of history that comrades like Shiraz is possessing, comrades like Njuki, Viva Njuki Viva, comrades like Njuki are possessing this history. So we're going to see how we can also, we had a discussion with Kimani and how Kombozi Library can be the source of the literature that we'll be using in Thomas Sankara Political School. There's so much opportunity in Africa. It's only that we have not yet reclaimed back our resources and our land. So one thing that the school wants to achieve is to have a conscious mass. So in the process, we're also giving ideology to people. And in terms of ideology, we borrow it widely. We have African scholars, African socialists. Of course, we borrow heavily from Karl Marx. We also borrow from Mao, Comrade Mao. We also borrow from Nkrumah. We borrow from South Africa. And now we also have Kenyan socialists like Piogama Pinto, whom we also borrow from. We borrow from Mackenzie. So we need to study all this and then contextualize and look at the current situation in Kenya and apply it according to our current situation in Kenya. We're not just copy-pasting, but doing things like maybe Karl Marx did, Lenin did. So we are also keen on giving people the right ideology and helping people to contextualize through a tool that we're calling a Marxist analysis, how you analyze the society, then apply all the tools that you have according to your current context. This revolution must come, and the revolution is certain.
Yeah.
We are not going to apologize, but because we must reclaim back our country. It is so sad that the history being taught in schools, they portray Kenyatta as a hero. But in real sense, he was a sellout. The guy is dead, but he's still spending 7 million every month. His body being preserved there. The capitalist system will not tell us who our heroes are.
Yes.
We're going to define our heroes, and we're going to celebrate our own heroes. Forward, socialism, forward. So what happens after the revolution has been successful? We need a political instrument. We need a political party that will sustain the revolution, that also will steer the change that we want. So we are also looking at having a political party, and we were thinking of a workers' party. And I think comrades like Shiraz will help us in trying to, and Comrade Njuki, he also has very beautiful perspectives of a party that we can have. So I think we are going to work together with everyone who is like-minded and has got the same intention that we have. Thomas Sankara is not a cartel. It's not a cartel of socialism. We are going to invite all the like-minded people that we can work with, because there's too much work to be done. We were in the first session of the political school, and actually, towards the end of the school, comrades were realizing the bulk of work that is before us. So we need as much effort, as much expertise as that we need to be able to fast-track this revolution. So another thing that we're using is that we are learning from our heroes, both women and men. Winnie Mandela, Wangari Maathai, Thomas Sankara, Piogama Pinto. That is something that is keen on. We're keen on learning from these people. We're keen on seeing the kind of mistakes that they made, and we're keen on now getting lessons from them and using them to better our country. We're also using a tool called Mystica, and through Mystica, we not only theorize the liberation struggle, but we live the liberation struggle. Because it is through Mystica that we are able to visualize the future that we want, and we are able to live that future currently, even though it is not there. Mystica can be maybe a small skit, a dramatized skit, addressing some ill in society and trying to portray a future that we want. So through Mystica, we are able to live, we are able to bring the revolution forward, live it, and experience it while it has not yet arrived. So it's a way of bringing the revolution closer to us. Through Mystica, we're also able to pass the ideologies better, because it is through pictorials, these things, music, that some people can grasp what we are trying to talk about easily. Because it's not everyone who is comfortable with sitting down and listening to lectures. So Thomas Sankara Political School is diverse. And going forward, it's going to be even better and intense. And we are looking forward to expanding the current, after the first the first session is complete, we are looking forward to expanding it from 20 to about 60 cadres a block in 3 weeks, so that we go through all these processes. And these are people who are coming back to the community now to pass this ideology to the community members. Because it would be fair that we block a few people in a school, then you come back and sit down. Because after every session of the school, the students are also expected to take commitments. What are you going to do towards before the next session? You must take a commitment, and we follow up on those commitments. Because from the last school, the few commitments have been made. One will be, there will be online campaigns, Twitter campaigns, advocating for socialism, abash capitalism, abash, dealing with the extrajudicial killings, doing all sorts of, we're talking about feminism. It will be online. That is part of the commitment the school has made. And the school has also made a commitment to strengthen all the political sessions that are happening in the SS centers. So the first cadres who attended the sessions will be the ones now trying to lead discussion in these sessions, teaching here and there topics. And we are going to also invite other comrades that can help us do this job. Those who are already there and those who have just joined, you're most welcome. And we are going to work together to empower this school, make it a better school, and empower the community to bring this revolution that we're talking about forward. Viva Sankara, viva!
Viva! Forward to socialism, forward. Forward! Yeah, I think Anto has already said basically what needs to be said regarding the school. And I think we've gotten an introduction of what the school is all about and what it's going to achieve, as well as the objectives and everything. I think it's a step in the right direction, and I think this is something we can all attest to. There has been attempts at spreading political education to as many people as possible, and this has been happening. It's been rising exponentially. And I think most of us here are actually part of either one or two political classes or study cells going on. And this political school, therefore, coordinates them. And I think this is something that is going to fast-track the building of cadres for this revolutionary process in order to go forward. But something also important that has been mentioned is the fact that it has to be coordinated, our revolution has to be coordinated with other cadres throughout the continent. Thomas Sankara Political School represents the group in East Africa. But then there's also Nkrumah School in South Africa. There is Amilcar Cabral in Ghana. And then there's the one in Tunisia. So as you can see, so it's happening everywhere. It's not something that is isolated. And this is part of the process towards coordinating all revolutionary forces that are working towards the African proletarian revolution. Therefore, this is something I think, need to put a lot of energy on. And this is going, of course, to produce the vanguard that we've all been wanting to take forward the revolution of the African people.
Female cadres at the school were extremely respected, That was a very beautiful thing to see. And the comradeship that we developed there, I think it glued us together. When you have a group of people with the same ideology and you understand things at that level, I think it creates a family of you. And that is what we want to spread to other comrades to everyone in the Social Justice Center to come to an ideological clarity and to an understanding that we are fighting for all of us, for our mothers who cannot maybe get it as much as we can be able to explain, or this fight is for all of us and it is for our good. We are chained, even though not physically. We have chains that are not physical. The fact that those guys, those 99 persons, what are they, 99? They are mentally chained. They think it's only in Europe that we can find good life. That is mental slavery. We have financial slavery. The fact that the Chinese will be building a road that we will be forced to pay for 30 years, that is financial slavery. So slavery is not just physical chains, but we have chains that we must break free of, and we can only do this through socialism.
It is through these practices that we now begin to practice the kind of socialism you're talking about. Because there's no division of labor in terms of women and men. Because these chores that are considered as for women, even men should be doing them. So we begin dismantling the ideas of capitalism right from the school. So it's a very exciting experience, and going forward, it's going to be even better. Forward, socialism forward.